So I've been growing these strawberries in these 3-gallon pots for about a year now. And what happens is you eventually get just a ton of runners like this, just throw themselves out. Wanted to see just if we could propagate them. You know, sometimes life gives you lemons, and I like to make lemonade. Strawberries eventually will try to spread out. And what they do is they throw out these runners like this, and they'll vine out. So what happens is these parts right here will layer themselves into the floor, and then they'll root out. So what we're gonna do is cut the vines out, and then we're gonna try to root them individually into pots or into cells. So just like in nature, eventually those will become part of the plant, or I guess they'll make parts of a new plant. And we're just gonna repeat that process. So I'm gonna try to root them in 4 cells. I prefer 4 cells over 6 cells because they're taller and you get a little bit more room and you get more soil, more space for the roots to develop. And it gives you more time before you have to move them into the ground or into a bigger pot. My potting mix is a homemade version of Top Pot. I talked about Top Pot before. It's a mineral-based soil with peat moss and nothing organic, you know, no compost in the soil. We follow Gary's philosophy on soil. So from here, I like to get the medium wet. So I hose it down and then just basically stick it in there. It's pretty straightforward. I did end up cutting back some of the leaves because I was noticing that there was some wind and those leaves are going to catch on the wind and rip out of the soil. So we don't need much for them to grow at that point, or at least to grow roots. After we stuck them in, my plan was to put them into some shade. I'd water them every day, just make sure they never went dry. And then we'll check it out periodically to see if there's any green growth. And I'm going to assume that they're still alive if they're green, and they'll be dead once they're brown. So once we get new growth, that'll basically be an indicator that there's roots. It's been about a month now, so we're going to take a look to see how they progressed. Some of the leaves have died off, and some are pushing out new growth, so I'm expecting some roots to show. You can see right there, this is a new growth. I'm expecting roots. But here like this, it looks like it didn't make it. And then these, I think the wind blew them away. You know, there's nothing left. I didn't bury them too deep. But here, see, we got some growth. This one's throwing out a runner. Something like this. Not exactly sure. Looks like the top just died off. Then we got some here. Oh, that's a pretty fat runner. This one sent out. Yep, all right. So we'll pop this pot out, or pop this one out of the pot. And this one will be the easiest one to deal with, so let's see what happens. I think there's some roots. That looks like a root. Oh yeah, there you go. Success. Yeah, it's all I needed to see. I don't see anything else anyway. Yeah, there you go. Propagating plants does not have to be difficult. I'm gonna go in and take a look at these roots. I'm gonna bare root this plant. We'll see how much it's rooted out. Here you can see the top growth. That's what we're left with. We'll take a look at one of the ones in the cells. This one has the runner coming out, so we'll take that one out. But, you know, that's what we got from it. It's threw out a runner, so it's definitely has rooted, but easy propagation. Just talk about the results on these. I started 49, and total that we got was 39 that did root. And then 6 of these failed, they died, and then 4 just blew away. There's nothing inside the cell. That's it, guys. Propagating strawberries has been pretty easy. All we really did was cut off the vines and stick them into some soilless medium. And for me, that's the important part about propagating, is to make sure there's nothing organic in your mix or your medium that you're going to root stuff in. I usually have no problems. You know, if it's gonna root, then it's gonna root. Other tricky stuff, maybe it just doesn't root. There are some plants that take months, and it's just not worth the effort. But strawberries easy. Cut them in, put them in the medium, water them, and wait about 4 weeks. You should have a bunch more. All right, thanks for watching.
Rose gone wild, that's what they call me. I'm the man with a plan, growing naturally. From the dirt to the table, it's a beautiful sight. Yeah, Grows gone wild, we're living it right.